So you put the mic 10 feet away and then you have it gate when the kick hits. Is that what's happening?
Yes. Yeah.
And it just adds some like top end, bottom end to the kick drum and makes it feel more expansive and bigger. Like, what is the impact that it has in the mix?
It creates, it adds a punch to the sound that I could never get from the close mics. The close mics always feel very one-dimensional to me. And when you add this other sound, which is also delayed by 10 milliseconds, just by the nature of the distance itself. And that was another thing that was a huge epiphany for me at a certain point, that I had been doing it sort of unwittingly by having mics that were far away. And sometimes they'd get used in different ways. Like when I would start trying to shape the kick drum sound, which I have to admit would be the majority of the mix, me fucking around the goddamn kick drum sound, And so I'd try all kinds of different, combinations of the mics that I had available. And so there would be like a mic on the resonant side of the kick drum. I put this other mic called the kick/snare mic, which is on the batter side below the snare drum. And then a mic that's further away. And so there would be like, sometimes I'd have the NS10 speaker thing going, like all of these things together, and I'd have all these elements to play with, and play with the phasing and different combinations and EQing and stuff until I got the kick drum to do the thing that feels like when I turn up the speaker, it feels the way I need it to feel. And so that mic that's further away, there were times where you could use it for this kind of, roomy punch, that had more of an air around it, that you could feel in the, you could just feel the sound in the room more. But there were other times where, like if I found a cool corner where it was picking up a bunch of really subby stuff, I'd filter it off and use it for low subby stuff. And then you don't really have to worry as much about the cymbal wash, because it's literally low passed all the way down to maybe 100 hertz or even below that. And it did this thing where it added this motion to the sound where the kick drum would hit, and then, 5 to 10 milliseconds later, there would be this sub sound that emerges, and it makes it have this sensation like it's bending down.
That's
like a lot
so
of
cool.
a
What
lot
a
of
cool
these
insight.
electronic kick drums, when you listen to like an 808 or a 909, they go pew,
Yeah.
and there's a reason for it, because if you have all of the frequencies of the kick drum all arrive at the same time, you need more headroom for it to have a certain presence in the mix. But when it starts getting spread out over time, I can have all of this amazing punchy, like, 80 and 90 hertz arrive first, and then the 40 and 50 hertz arrive just after that. And when they're spread out, it won't slam the meter as much, and you can have it louder in the mix. And so all of that energy is spread out over a little bit of time to allow a greater presence of the kick in the mix.
That's such an amazing insight and such a good technical explanation of what's happening. That's incredible that you, like, again, figured that out in an analog world. Actually, like, when I'm looking at kick samples today, there's a million kick samples out there.
Right.
They do exactly what you described, where there's the sort of click and attack of the kick drum, and then the sort of like, punchy 80 to 90 hertz arrives. And then maybe 10 milliseconds in, 20 milliseconds in, just a boatload of sub comes in.
Yeah.
You actually see the waveform stretch out.
Yes.
But like, that's the shape of a modern electronic kick.
Yeah.
And it's so incredible that you were like finding ways to position microphones to achieve the same effect in a totally analog way. That's mind blowing.
Yeah. And I didn't realize, that's really that technically that's what I was chasing until much later. And now when I'm getting a kick drum sound, if I'm handed something in the mix and there's only one kick mic, I'll split it off and take a second track, filter it down, and delay it and force it to do it off of one sound. And it's amazing.
That's so cool.
It works so good every time. And it's like, oh yeah, there it is. There's that sound that I love where it goes,
That's so
And it
cool.
still sounds like the original kick drum that was given to me, because it's all created from that sound.